Blueprint was that album that when it came out, it made niggas change up what they were doing. And that's because of the Sonics, and from what we're understanding, that's because of the direction of Kanye West. I know we've had this conversation before, and you wanted to split the credit of Kanye and Just Blaze, and Bink is on the Blueprint as well, production wise. But I always felt like Kanye was more of the driving force because this can't be life, right? And that soul sample that was there, and I remember when the Blueprint came out, and I heard You Don't Know. I felt like You Don't Know was probably one of the best beats I'd ever heard, right? Especially best beat I ever heard J Rhyme on. Song Cry. Girls, Girls, Girls. And I'm like, this is back in the day when we used to check the credits and all that. And I was like, yo, Just Blaze made some heat. And we already knew about Kanye because of, Izzo and Takeover and all that stuff. And I was like, and really This Can't Be Life was really Kanye's breakthrough on that. And I was like, man, I didn't know Just Blaze was on this Genesis album, this Busta Rhymes album. Let me check this song out. Shit sounded nothing like what I had heard on the Blueprint, like stylistically. So for Kanye to make the claims that Just Blaze copied him, those are notions that I've always kind of thought but never had any level of real confirmation on. I've heard Bink say similar things too, because he made 1-900 Hustle on the Dynasty, and I had always thought that Just Blaze made that stylistically. You know what I'm saying?
The horns sound like Just, but that is Bink. That's one of my favorite records out of that.
Oh, that shit is hard.
1-900 Hustle is crazy.
So without checking the credits, one would assume that Just made that record too. And Bink has kind of, I've heard that Bink has said something about Just kind of biting that, but where Kanye was like, look where I'm at and look where he's at, it's like, whoa, that was.
So that means he didn't appreciate how that process went down. So Mike, I'm going to sit here today. I've told you I've always wanted to split the credit. Well, that's till Ye just broke it down. This is what I mean. There's not too much people going to be able to get back and say about this, because Ye said just like this: I made the first half of the Blueprint and he heard my shit and then went
and based on the resume, that's believable.
And if you just look at it and then you go back and look at their placements prior to the Blueprint, Mike, it's like, oh, well, now that's totally believable.
And that makes sense.
Like, and so that's what I mean when it's like he was throwing haymakers. He was like, oh, they haymakers, but they're the truth. And that's what's making them haymakers, because the way that he was breaking stuff down and explaining it, if you know your stuff and you can go back and reference like we can with Just Blaze tracks, it's like, oh, because when I was saying split the credit, my thought about it was always like, oh, well, Ye's over here in one studio and Just is in the other, and Jay going back and forth. Ye like, nah, I was in there, did my shit, left, and he was left to listen to my shit, and that's when he did his shit. That's different.
It is different. It's very different, and I didn't know the process went down like that either. And
I'm thinking they up in baseline, studio to studio.
LP
Jay
says
in the room, pulling to himself like Rain Man. That's how I envision it. You know what I'm saying?
LP says Kanye bit the drums off of Explosive. So, no. And I saw somebody say that in our comment section. This is the difference, right? You know that because Kanye told you that, right? And that's fine. If Just Blaze would have just been like, look, man, Kanye was the one that set the path for this. I just kind of went off of that.
You know what? All he had,
like, just keep it real.
You want to know why Ye made the comment, look at where he's at, look at where I'm at? It's because he never gave him the credit that he's supposed to give him. Then he should have just said, you want to know what? Like, me and Kanye shared production on this album, but Ye is the one that came in and set the tone, and I piggybacked off that tone.
Exactly.
Like, Mike, there don't never have to be no money exchange in hands. You don't got to kiss the nigga ass. You just got to tell the truth about how the process went.
Just keep it real. I know that I remember Jay Dilla making a comment, rest in peace, Jay Dilla. He was like, high tech on the blast, man. I could kind of hear my influence in there.
Yeah. Yes. I thought it was his beat at first. Mike, like the first time I heard the blast, I'm like, oh, that sounds like Dylan's shit.
The thing is, man, just keep it real, man. That's all it is, man. And give credit where credit's due. And that's fine. Like, we're all inspired by something. And I think that, again, where Kanye jumped on there talking about, he bit the drums from Explosives and put it on his Can't Be Life, that's him being honest and giving Dr. Dre his props. Because without that, we wouldn't have even known that he did that.
No, but giving credit where credit is due. And so what I'm starting to see about Ye is that so all these crazy rants we're talking about, oh, we're starting to find out, and some of it just really came out in this interview that it's like, oh no, he's not crazy. He literally hasn't been getting his due about some things, so he's clearing a lot of shit up.
And rightfully so. I mean,
Rightfully
if
so.
that's his truth, that's his truth. And if anybody else want to come out and say anything about it, they're welcome to do so.
Oh, I would love all the people that got talked about to come out and say something. That's going to be so fascinating.
It
Because
will
like,
be. I mean,
because Talib, because how about this? This is what I mean. Like Talib can post what he posted. Like this is yay. That's not gonna resonate or hit like heart. Like that ain't gonna do nothing. Not
well,
when he just had the interview
I
he
think the
had and he
one
come
thing
out
that
so clear.
I think the one thing that Kanye did that might have been a little bit out of line, and he'll probably apologize for it somewhere down the line, was him saying, "You ask 99% of people, would they rather be Kanye West or Talib? They're gonna say Kanye West." I think that was too much, but
He's not taking it back, Mike. He did not take it back.
Yo,
You gotta get that. He's not apologizing for that.
you know, and I was saying this. I think I was saying this to you. I was like, man, and I think it was during the election season. I want to get back on that, but just seeing how people like Common, John Legend, and Big Sean and them are moving, I was like, man, Kanye is being a real big person for not putting these guys on blast. Well, it
Mike,
happened.
Mike, I think you might have said that on one of these shows, and you've definitely been saying that behind the scenes for quite some time. Y'all don't know how many times, Mike, we done been just talking about some rap shit in common or John Legend that came up, and it's been 30 minutes of Mike just going in.
Yeah, man. I mean, because it's like, this is the thing, man. It's like, it's hard work, man. It's hard work out here doing what you do on your own. But when you actually go out here and put forth efforts to make ways for other people selflessly, because I know Kanye comes across as a very self-centered individual sometimes, but if we look at what he's done as a producer, he's been very selfless in a lot of his efforts. You look at Daytona, you look at The Blueprint, you look at B, he's been very selfless.
Albums, Mike, just those 3 albums
Yeah,
alone.
just those three albums. And not even to mention what he's done for other guys' careers, not to mention what 808s and Heartbreaks has done for other guys' careers extended outside of that. It's like, at least show some respect. And I think that's what all of this is about. Respect, man. Like, don't be out here letting people get in your ear talking down on me. Like, I helped you. Period. Like, I helped you.
I think part of the reason why he fuck with Game is just because like he give Game tracks because Game always like bigs him up and gives him his proper due and respect. I think that's why Game can always get a track.
I think Wayne too.
Yeah. Like certain dudes can always get a track from Ye, but it's like you listen to how they talk about him and then it's like, oh well that makes sense. And it's like